In my last video, I covered CityWalk's premium dining experiences, focusing mainly on their theming. However, there's still plenty more to discuss. Many of you expressed your love for the premium dining I left out in the last video, which if you haven't watched, I recommend doing so. For this video, we'll be looking at the remaining dining options, both premium and quick service, Universal's escape room, karaoke, shopping, and even the mini golf course. There's a lot to cover, but before we dive into everything, I want to share that while last time I focused on theming, I won't be doing it as strongly here. While it is still something worth discussing, I've noticed that, particularly with the dining locations we're looking at today, the theming is more strongly tied to its food rather than the restaurant's aesthetic. That's not to say that some restaurants here don't offer both, or that I won't be discussing the restaurant's aesthetic at all, but it just seems to be more rare. With this in mind, I'll be discussing the food options a bit more than in the previous video to better convey that theming. With all this being said, let's begin with the premium dining options. So, grab a snack, a drink, and enjoy the video. The first restaurant on this list is one that many of you have expressed your love for in the comments of my last video, Cowfish. Now, Cowfish is more or less connected with two other restaurants, or at least they are in such close proximity that it appears that way. Those other two restaurants are Vivo and Red Oven Pizza Bakery, and all three opened in 2014 as part of Universal's revamp of CityWalk. As for Cowfish itself, the theming isn't too heavy here, but it's enough to grab your attention. They have their mascot outside the restaurant, and the area where you walk up to get a table is designed to look like the rear of a cow. Moving inside, that light aesthetic continues with green, white, and blue colors coating the interior, as well as TV screens displaying an aquarium view with fish swimming around. The restaurant also features some unique art pieces, really providing its own identity. While this may not sound like the most exciting theming, it's the food that truly shines here. They of course offer standard items like sushi, burgers, but also offer unique appetizers like crab rangoon dip. However, what this place is truly known for is burgushi, a fusion of sushi and burgers, and while that may sound unusual, from what I've been able to gather, the restaurant pulls it off quite well. One example is the all-American bacon double cheese burgushi, which features black Angus beef, yellow and white cheddar cheese, and applewood smoked bacon. It's all wrapped in soy paper and potato strings, then flash fried. They top it with diced pickles, tomatoes, and onions, and it's served with cowfish sauce, ketchup, and mustard. Another unique offering is the high-class hillbilly, which features pulled pork, caramelized onion, and barbecue sauce, all wrapped in potato and flash fried, then topped with bacon coleslaw and chives. Though I'm no food critic, it's clear that Cowfish embraces its identity through a form of absurdity in the best way, by expressing its theme through its unique food twist, much like Toothsome does. I think the food alone makes this place worth a stop. And while the visual aesthetic may not be as profound as the menu, that shouldn't stop you from trying Cowfish at least once. To say that Vivo is a high-class Olive Garden would be an insult. To Vivo, that is. However, it is definitely more upscale than your typical chain Italian restaurant. Now, before I dive deeper into Vivo, I want to mention that this location was once home to Pasta More, which opened in May of 1999. Normally, I'd take a deeper dive into these older restaurants, but oddly enough, Pasta More seems quite similar to Vivo, though it leaned more towards that feel of a chain restaurant, and the sign outside was certainly fun and inviting, but in all honesty, when you look at it, Vivo just feels like a rebranded and upscaled version of what came before. With that out the way, let's take a deeper look at Vivo. Now, looking at the exterior, you can tell almost immediately that Vivo is a higher caliber sit-down restaurant. With its wood veneer and simplistic sign, it has a sleek, modern appearance on its outside. The interior, however, is where this restaurant truly shines. At first glance, it may seem standard, but as you make your way inside, you'll quickly notice a station where chefs make fresh pasta in-house, hanging it on small poles to dry. The restaurant also features a full bar and an open kitchen. As for its theming, I'd say it strikes a balance between modern and homey, blending upscale and casual elements. However, it's much like Cowfish in the fact that its theming is relatively light, But that, of course, is where the food comes in. While the menu consists of expected Italian staples like wood-fired pizza, soups, and pasta, the difference here is the quality. Everything is either made in-house or crafted with high fresh end ingredients, especially the pasta. Vivo also offers more unique dishes such as swordfish, as well as themed dining experiences. For instance, during Valentine's Day, they featured a special 3-course meal. One option, called Love Story, featured lamb, sea, and chocolate. It included broiled lamb chops, scallops, Parmesan orzo, charred broccoli, and a chocolate demi-glaze for the lamb with various wine pairings. With all this in mind, it's easy to see why so many of you were really adamant about me talking about these other premium dining experiences, as I can see why so many people love Vivo. And much like Cowfish, it may not offer much in terms of visual theming, but it more than makes up for it with its food. Next, we move on to Red Oven Pizza Bakery. Even though Red Oven is more of a quick service restaurant, or at least that's how I feel about it, it's closely tied to Vivo and Cowfish, so I felt it makes sense discussing it here. Like the other two, its theming is minimal and maybe even more so, but still distinct. The standout feature is the large red oven displays in the exterior dining area, which serve as a point of interest to pull guests in. Beyond that, the theming is quite simple, with the logo being the only other notable visual element outside the restaurant beside the red scooter. Inside, the simplicity continues. The decor consists of shelves lined with bowls of tomatoes, bottles of olive oil, and cans of sauce. The menu signs are shaped like pizza peels, the wooden paddles used to remove pizzas from ovens, which I felt was a nice touch. But aside from these small details, there's not much in terms of theming. So, what about the food? As expected, the menu consists primarily of, you've guessed it, pizzas, with some salads available as well. The pizzas here are divided into 2 categories: Pizza Rosa, red sauce-based pizzas, and Pizza Bianca, white sauce-based pizzas. While none of the offerings are particularly groundbreaking, the restaurant does use higher quality ingredients, making it a more worthwhile stop compared to any, of course, typical chain pizzeria. That said, I do find it a bit odd that a pizza place is located right next to Vivo, considering you can get likely a similar level of quality there. Regardless, Red Oven seems like a fine option, especially if you don't have the time for a sit-down. Though, when stacked against the other dining choices in CityWalk, it likely wouldn't be my first pick. Antitos is our next stop on the list, and another restaurant that I saw several of you mention in the last CityWalk video. Starting with the exterior, it's clear how vibrant and inviting this place is. The building design takes heavy inspiration from Mexican mission churches featuring those large arched windows. However, the main difference here, of course, is its bold, colorful facade, which immediately sets it apart from almost everything in CityWalk. Outside of that, a van not only displays a drink menu, but also serves as a photo op. The van reinforces that restaurant's theme with its street art inspired design. But before Antitos moved in, this building was home to Latin Quarter, a restaurant and nightclub that featured live music, dancing, and cuisine from a variety of Latin countries. While Latin Quarter was unique and is still missed by many to this day, it was definitely suited for a different era of Universal. In terms of theming, the exterior entrance was quite intriguing with its vibrant colors, but that's about as far as it went, as the interior was fairly standard for the time, and the menu, though, was packed with bold flavor. It offered classic dishes like arroz con pollo, Cuban sandwiches, and even a stuffed chicken breast with sweet plantains, bacon, garlic, and mango salsa. Looking back, Latin Quarter's food offerings would absolutely feel right at home in today's CityWalk. Stepping inside Antitos, guests are greeted by an explosion of colors. The restaurant is divided into 2 floors, each offering a distinct experience. The first floor is more casual, featuring lively and vibrant decor, along with a bar area where you can enjoy cocktails and margaritas, as well as live performances on a stage. The menu here focuses on classic Mexican dishes, including tacos, burritos, and quesadillas, making it a great spot for groups and families looking for a more laid-back atmosphere. Moving to the second floor, you'll find a more refined and upscale atmosphere. With a rooftop dining area, this space is perfect for a date night or a special occasion, offering views of the CityWalk area. The menu here leans towards a more gourmet selection of Mexican cuisine, including appetizers and entrees, as well as specialty cocktails. The ambience is more intimate and relaxed, providing a nice contrast to the bustling first floor. Just from the theming alone, it's clear that a lot of love and care went into designing this space, just like Tucson. But does that same level of care carry over into the food? Well, looking at the food, I first want to highlight the option to get tableside guacamole, which can be customized to your preferred level of spice. This is something I personally haven't encountered before and find it to be a unique touch. As for the menu itself, it definitely stands out with offerings like chile relleno, a poblano pepper stuffed with chicken tinga, and a blend of cheeses, dipped in a cojita cheese egg batter and fried to perfection. But if something that bold isn't your specialty, that's okay, because they also serve more of those familiar dishes like I said earlier. When you combine all of this, from the art and decor to the live performances, as well as this unique food, it's easy to see why Antitos can be a must-visit experience for anyone stopping by CityWalk or wrapping up a day in the parks. It truly stands as a fantastic staple of CityWalk, and I think that it will stay for quite some time. With that being said, let's move into our next premium restaurant. Moving away from Antitos, our next stop is OBriens. The restaurant's exterior features a large hurricane glass sign, with OBriens displayed in neon green lettering, as well as the facade being inspired by the French Quarter in New Orleans, complete with gas lanterns outside the entrance. Depending on the time of day, you could even catch a live piano performance outside, and, interestingly enough, if you're in a rush during CityWalk's nightlife, there's a smaller window where you can grab a hurricane to go. Stepping inside, plaque states that the restaurant's goal is to capture the local bar atmosphere, which is found in New Orleans. That sentiment seems to hold true, as the interior is adorned with string lights, hanging cups, and framed pictures covering the walls, really giving it that hole-in-the-wall feel where you would find locals. The restaurant also features an outdoor courtyard with a firelit fountain and a smaller bar compared to the one inside. Back inside the restaurant, the venue has a dedicated space known as the Piano Bar, where dual pianists perform. This area has dim lighting, creating a more intimate ambience, with the restaurant's logo illuminated on the wall between the performers. Now, with everything being themed around New Orleans, it's only natural that this influence carries over to the food, so what exactly is on offer? OBriens serves classic New Orleans cuisine, including po' boys, jambalaya, crawfish, and shrimp and grits to name a few. However, the menu also features more unique items like the Bao Burger, which consists of smashed patties, andouille sausage, cheddar cheese, Cajun mayo, bacon jam, and crispy Louisiana hot sauce onions, blending the essence of New Orleans cuisine with a classic burger. Another unique offering is the gumbo hand pie, a small crusted pie filled with house rice, Cajun chicken, sausage stew, and Louisiana hot ranch. I think it's safe to say that if you're craving that bold New Orleans flavor, or just something with a bit of a kick, this is definitely the place to go. But if you're in the mood for a different type of spice, then our next location might be more your style. Our final premium restaurant on this list is Bob Marley, a tribute to freedom. Starting with the exterior, the restaurant here is modeled after Bob Marley's childhood home in Kingston, Jamaica, a site that now serves as a museum. The design embraces a tropical Caribbean aesthetic with lush surrounding flora and an architectural style that, in some ways, echoes the laid-back beach house vibe of Jimmy Buffett's. There's also a statue of Bob Marley holding a guitar standing prominently with the restaurant's logo behind him. Additionally, statues of lions are positioned parallel to the main entrance, reinforcing the theme and symbolism associated with Bob Marley. Stepping inside, the restaurant offers plenty to take in. The walls are adorned with pictures and murals celebrating Marley's life and music, while a bar serves a variety of drinks. However, the real highlight here is the open-air courtyard, where guests have the option to dine inside or outside. Those choosing the courtyard can enjoy their meal with live entertainment performed on a dedicated stage. While this restaurant shares a common thread with the last three I've discussed, that being offering live entertainment, the distinct theming and food set each of them apart. Speaking of food, let's take a look at what Bob Marley, a tribute to freedom, has to offer. You probably could have guessed it, but Bob Marley's restaurant here serves up a variety of Caribbean-inspired dishes. Guests can enjoy options like oxtail stew, jerk chicken, and curry goat stew, staples of Jamaican cuisine that bring authentic island flavors to CityWalk. While this restaurant doesn't offer the kind of unique fusion dishes seen at OBriens or Cowfish, it does cater to vegetarian and vegan guests, with options like Natty Dread vegetable patties, a twist on traditional Jamaican beef patties that offer a filling consisting of sweet potatoes, red beans, coconut milk, yuca fries, cocoa bread, and other vegetables with smoky ketchup, as well as jerk cauliflower bites, ensuring that guests with dietary preferences aren't left out of the experience. With all that said, I believe these premium restaurants each bring something unique to CityWalk. While the restaurants I covered in my last video featured incredible theming, many lack creativity in their food offerings. Aside from a few standouts in contrast, the restaurants I've discussed today seem to strike a better balance, offering a diverse and flavorful menu while still maintaining theming that, while not overly elaborate, creates a fun and immersive dining experience. Ultimately, that's what truly matters the most in a restaurant experience. With all these restaurants out the way, let's go ahead and dive into Universal's escape room. Moving away from dining for a moment, I want to look at Universal's Great Movie Escape, an escape room-based experience offering guests two choices: Back to the Future and Jurassic World. However, before we dive deep into these experiences, let's take a look at what was here prior. Before the Great Movie Escape, which debuted in December of 2022, this space once housed a multi-level nightclub called The Groove. While there isn't a lot of footage available, the nightclub featured multiple dance floors, each with its own genre of music, allowing anyone who entered to find something that suited their taste. While there isn't much more to discuss, since I assume most of you watching this are familiar with what a nightclub entails, The Groove closed in November of 2021 to make way for Universal's Great Movie Escape. While I'm unable to share footage of the escape rooms themselves, I will share footage of the building, which is impressively designed to resemble an old movie theater. Outside, posters showcase the Jurassic World escape room and Back to the Future Out of Time escape room. Moving inside, the building here is split into two separate floors. On the first floor, the old movie theater theme continues, with the area adorned with vintage movie props and mannequins displaying character outfits from their respective films. At the center of the room is a stage with a screen displaying the escape room logo, which also features trivia from time to time. To the left of the stage is the Back to the Future escape room, which, judging by its exterior, resembles a full-blown attraction. To the right of the stage is the check-in area, where guests begin their escape room experience. Before heading upstairs, it is worth noting that the first floor also features a bar that serves custom drinks as well as specialty cocktails. Making our way upstairs, we find another bar, though smaller than the one downstairs. There is also a small glass case displaying merchandise available for purchase, and this floor is home to the Jurassic World escape room, along with a wall featuring the Indominus Rex, which could serve as a unique photo op. Additionally, there's an outdoor lounge area, and while not particularly elaborate, it offers a nice spot to sit and enjoy a drink. Universal has unquestionably nailed the theming here, and given that they are a movie company first and a theme park company second, it makes sense that they would excel in this aspect. With Universal's Great Movie Escape now covered, it's time to change our tune and head over to Rising Star Karaoke. Regarding Rising Star Karaoke, the venue previously housed City Jazz, a nightclub that featured performances from various jazz musicians, both local and national. However, finding photos or detailed information about City Jazz has been extremely challenging, as it was replaced by Rising Star in 2008. With all this in mind, I don't have any visual aid that I can show for City Jazz, but felt that it was necessary to discuss when it comes to my CityWalk Part 1 and 2 videos. Now, turning our attention back to Rising Star, the most prominent feature on the exterior is its sign, which showcases a large guitar pick with the word star on it, along with an image of a singer, hinting to guests that they are the star here. Above the entrance, screens display live footage of guests performing on stage. Speaking of those live performances, that's what makes this venue so special, so let's head inside. Inside Rising Star, the venue offers plenty of seating, as well as a live band on stage that plays music while guests sing their hearts out. On top of this, an array of lighting features help create that feeling of being at a concert or a large-scale live performance, making both the performers and the audience feel like they are a part of something much bigger. Above the guest on stage, screens display the lyrics of the song currently being performed. And finally, Rising Star offers some liquid courage for those who might need it, including wine, beer, and specialty cocktails. They even serve a drink called Rising Star, perfect for helping anyone muster the confidence to get on stage. But if you happen to be the designated driver for your friends, that's okay too, as mocktails are available, so you can still feel included. While Rising Star does offer food, it isn't their own. Instead, they have a small menu featuring pizza, all made by the Red Oven. Rising Star is a unique experience, mainly due to its scale and budget compared to a more typical bar that offers karaoke. That alone makes it worth at least one visit just to see what it's all about. And with the abundance of alcohol available at CityWalk, the venue definitely suits anyone ready to make either the worst mistake or the best one. When it comes to the only true club experience left in CityWalk, we have the Red Coconut Club, a tropical-themed venue featuring a dance floor, bar, and live DJ set against vibrant neon lighting and a colorful backdrop. The club also boasts a second-floor lounge with a smaller, more intimate bar. But while the layout and atmosphere are solid, what truly sets the Red Coconut Club apart is its impressive lineup of seasonal transformations, each with immersive theming that rivals that of Universal's famed tribute stores. Let's dive into 3 standout examples. First, we have the Cursed Coconut Club, which emerges during Mardi Gras, typically between February and March. This version transforms the space into a bayou-inspired haunt, packed with voodoo decor and explosive colors. It also offers exclusive themed drinks, fully embracing the spirit of Mardi Gras celebrations. Next is during Halloween Horror Nights. The venue morphs into the Dead Coconut Club, and much like the haunted houses at HHN, this overlay changes yearly, offering fresh spooky designs and specialty beverages, and the level of detail here is impressive, making it feel like an extension of the event itself rather than just some throwaway area, making it all the more worthwhile to visit. Finally, the holiday season brings the Green and Red Coconut Club, a festive overlay decked out with Christmas lights, seasonal decorations, and, you guessed it, more exclusive drinks tailored to that cheerful, cozy holiday vibe. Universal puts remarkable effort into each of these transformations, keeping the Red Coconut Club feeling fresh and worth revisiting year-round. It's more than just some small club that's left after everything else has been changed. It's actually a dynamic, ever-changing space, making it more worthwhile to visit year in and out. Next on our list is a location that appeared frequently in the comments section of my last CityWalk video, and seems to have been a huge favorite before being replaced by Bubba Gump. This is of course Mottown Cafe, which was a restaurant that celebrated and paid tribute to Motown music. But what exactly is Motown music? Well, Motown music is a genre that emerged from Motown Records, a Detroit-based label founded by Berry Gordy in 1959. It featured legendary artists like Stevie Wonder, Marvin Gaye, and the Jackson 5, just to name a few. Now, understanding the type of music that defined Mottown Cafe, we would of course typically take a closer look and analyze the restaurant. But in this case, I've searched quite far and wide to find footage of the restaurant in its entirety, and that seems to be pretty much impossible. So, I was able to locate a YouTube short, which is what you're seeing on screen now, replaying constantly. I wanted to at least bring this restaurant into the discussion because I understand my fans, and those who are fans of CityWalk in general, have a huge love for this restaurant, and it wouldn't be a complete CityWalk overview without at least talking about it. Now that we've covered many of the larger restaurants and Universal's great movie escape experience, it's time to dive into the quick service dining options within CityWalk. These spots typically have minimal theming, as the goal here is to serve food rather quickly. However, many of them still manage to have unique offerings, which is where the focus of this section will be. Before we start, I want to lay out a few ground rules. I want to go over some of the options I won't be covering. This includes Starbucks, Panda Express, Menchie's, Cold Stone Creamery, Moe's Southwest Grill, and Cinnabon, since these are widely available outside the park and don't offer anything particularly unique to CityWalk. That said, I will be including Burger King's Whopper Bar, as it's a more exclusive quick service option and is more unique than a typical Burger King. With that out the way, let's jump into our first quick service dining spot. Our first quick service restaurant is none other than Voodoo Donuts. This restaurant opened at Universal Orlando CityWalk on May 2, 2018, replacing Element, a store that was based around skateboarding. As for Voodoo Donuts, their first store opened in Portland, Oregon in 2003 and gained attention for its unconventional approach to donuts and its uniquely themed interiors. Starting outside the front of Voodoo Donuts, there's a lot that pulls you in, besides the pink paint the building is dressed in. First, we have a throne designed to look like it's made of donuts, where guests can sit and take pictures, as well as a sign featuring their infamous Voodoo Doll donut. And finally, at the top of the building's front is the Voodoo Donuts logo, featuring a New Orleans-style priest. But besides all of this, the true experience is of course inside. As you make your way in, you'll see the space adorned with art and various props, as well as a spiral staircase in the center. As you approach the front to order, guests will notice a small glass case with donuts on a rotating platform placed in line, showcasing the unique offerings they have. Shortly after that is the front counter, which features screens displaying donut options and quantities, ranging from single choices all the way up to a coffin of donuts. Above the donut selection, it says, "Good things come in pink boxes." And of course, with the exception of the coffin, the donuts all come in a pink box, which features their infamous logo. Before we move on to our next location, we do have to look at some of the donuts that Voodoo Donuts offers. While some options are simple, like the 8 Mile, a chocolate frosted donut covered in M&Ms, others are much more unique. Take, for example, the Voodoo Doll donut, which is shaped like a doll with a jelly filling and a pretzel steak in it. The donuts get even more unique, with options such as Grape Ape, which is a vanilla frosted donut topped with grape dust and lavender sprinkles. And finally, we have a donut known as the Memphis Mafia, a banana fritter covered in chocolate, peanut butter, and nuts. Overall, Voodoo Donuts are a great addition to CityWalk and have that uniqueness that guests look for in CityWalk today. However, a trend that you'll see here that Universal has done, as they've added more quick service options, is how they've practically gotten rid of all their shopping options, something I'll speak a bit more on later. Our next stop on this list is Breadbox, a quick service restaurant that focuses on sandwiches, but also features salads, a soup of the day, and loaded mac and cheese. However, the main draw is, of course, the sandwiches here, and while they offer classic options you'd find almost in any sandwich shop, such as BLTs, Italian subs, and tuna salad, they also have more unique sandwiches. One standout option is the barbecue brisket sandwich, and another is the chopped cheese, which, for those unfamiliar, consists of ground beef, cheese, onions, lettuce, and tomatoes on a roll. It's similar to a burger, but it is a staple in places like New York and Philadelphia. A final unique choice is the B-Box burger, which is essentially a smash burger. While the food might not be as extravagant as some of the nicer sit-down restaurants, it still offers some interesting options for those looking for a quick and satisfying meal without committing a lot of time. The theming inside, while minimal, is still nice. The restaurant features swing chairs to sit in, though they don't actually swing, and a wall decorated with lunch boxes, and an overall picnic-like atmosphere. It's a charming spot, though not as uniquely themed as Voodoo Donuts. If you aren't in the mood for sandwiches, another quick service option is the Hot Dog Hall of Fame. It's a quick service stand with a baseball stadium theme, as the ground is styled to resemble that of a baseball field, and it offers stadium-style bleacher seating with seats from actual baseball stadiums. The theming is simple here, but surprisingly effective. The real draw, of course, is the menu, a lineup of 9 regionally inspired hot dogs from across the country. For instance, one is the Arizona, which comes with grilled peppers and onions, pinto beans, smoked bacon, and cheese. Another option is the Washington, which features coleslaw, hot wing sauce, and blue cheese. While those might not sound up your alley, that's okay, as there are plenty of options to choose from. Everything here is served on a split top bun with a side of fries. And there's even a foot-long version if you're extra hungry, as well as the ability to build your own if you just want something much more unique. Hot Dog Hall of Fame isn't flashy, but it's fast, filling, and usually doesn't have a long wait, especially compared to other spots in CityWalk. The outdoor seating means it's not ideal in bad weather, but on a good day, it's a solid spot to kick back, people watch, and grab a bite to eat. It might not be the most exciting choice in CityWalk, but for what it is, Hot Dog Hall of Fame gets the job done. For these next 2 restaurants, I'm going to go through them quickly as they don't have much theming and are more focused on the food. This brings us to the 2 final quick service restaurants, Ben the Bao and the Burger King Whopper Bar. Starting with Ben the Bao, if you don't know what bao buns are, they're a dish typically associated with China, as they're made of dough and filled with vegetables or meat, which is then steamed. Ben the Bao embraces this concept by offering a small but flavorful menu with a few selections, as well as an open kitchen style view where guests can watch the food being prepared. Besides the light theming, the location itself is fairly straightforward. Moving on to the Burger King Whopper Bar, this quick service restaurant feels like any other, as it's part of a smaller food court consisting of Panda Express and Moe's. While there's not much to say about the Whopper Bar consisting of its theming, it is interesting because its big draw is unique Whoppers that it offers, and at the time of this video, this is the only place where you can still get an Angry Whopper, and that makes it just a little more special. Though it has some other offerings like chicken fingers or chicken sandwiches, it mainly pushes the unique Whopper variations. However, at the end of the day, it's still a Burger King, so don't expect too much. With that being said, there's not much more to cover here, so let's move on to the shopping options available at CityWalk. Shopping at Universal Orlando used to offer a lot more variety than what's available today. Stores like Billabong, Fossil, and Pick were just a few of the options guests could explore. However, today's CityWalk is more focused on dining, leaving shopping options limited to the Universal Studios store and the Epic Universe store, which will more than likely be gone once Epic is opened. There was a time when shopping was as much of a part of the CityWalk experience as dining, but over the years, as more restaurants were introduced, shopping gradually faded away. This shift has left fewer options for guests looking to browse merchandise. Thankfully, the Universal Studios store still offers a wide selection, including classic attraction-themed merchandise and exclusive limited-time items like Wicked merchandise when the show was in town. With shopping covered, we still have a few more things to dive into, including the movie theater and the mini golf course. So let's wrap up the video with our final sections. The The movie theater at Universal is pretty standard in terms of what it offers. Everything you'd expect from a typical theater experience. That said, it does stand out in a few ways. For one, it's 2 stories tall, giving it a grander feel, and occasionally Universal goes the extra mile by decorating the area outside the ticket booths with themed props or vehicles, depending on what's playing. A great example of this was the 30th anniversary of Jurassic Park, when they showcased iconic vehicles from the film right outside the entrance. Beyond that though, there isn't a whole lot more to say about the theater itself. I still think it's a smart move on Universal's part. Having a movie theater right here adds to CityWalk's overall versatility. With a lineup of restaurants, a theater, and even a mini golf course, CityWalk becomes more than just a pass-through, it's an easy one-stop shop for a night out. Speaking of mini golf, let's dive into the final shop of our tour of CityWalk. Hollywood Drive-In Golf. This spot doesn't just offer a quick game, it delivers full-blown themed entertainment, with 2 courses to choose from, The Haunting of Ghostly Greens and Invaders from Planet Putt. It leans hard into retro sci-fi and horror vibes, complete with glowing effects, campy props, and fun sound design that sets it apart from your average mini golf experience. It's a surprisingly detailed and playful way to end your night, especially if you're just looking for something low-key to do after a long day at the park. And honestly, it's the kind of variety that makes CityWalk such a standout. It's not just a place to grab food before heading home, it winds up becoming its own destination. So, whether you're grabbing a bite, catching a flick, or enjoying a round of mini golf, CityWalk really does offer something for everyone. It's the perfect place to cap off your Universal Studios experience, and with the all-new additions coming down the pipeline, it's only going to get better. The only thing I would wish that Universal does do is bring a lot more shopping options back into this area of its park. Or an area outside the park, I guess I should say. With all this being said, thanks for joining me on this tour of Universal CityWalk. If you've enjoyed the video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment with your thoughts on CityWalk. What's your favorite spot here? And stay tuned for more deep dives into the best of Universal, and I'll see you in the next video.